Quantic Media.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay. My name is Axel, and I'm really excited to bring you a recent game from the North American ladder in between, starting at the 6 o'clock position, QxGRockEr playing as the red Protoss player, and at the top side of the map at the 12 o'clock position we have the blue Zerg player, GareKon. Now you may not recognize these players, so let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about them. GareKon is actually 5th in his Masters League with 1,701 points and a record of 346 and 331, and you may be asking me or yourself, hey, what? He's Masters. Why should I watch this game? Well, don't count Masters players out, ladies and gentlemen. I actually have a personal friend who's a Masters player who took out a Grandmaster player, actually a pretty good Grandmaster player, in a recent tournament. So definitely don't count out the Masters players. They can definitely show us some good games, and I'm really expecting this to be a great game, actually. And in the bottom side of the map, of course, Rocker from Quantic Gaming is 150th in the North American Grandmaster League with a record of 553 and 530, I should say. So that's 553 and 530 with 1,358 points. So we have a Protoss versus Zerg cross positions on the map of Metalopolis, which means it's the Blizzard Metalopolis, so there is a close position. So we see Rocker immediately proceeding towards close positions to scout it out, and probably will return to scout the other bases. Actually going to go to the left here. Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, this is actually a really cool play from a Rocker. A lot of players, what they'll do is they'll scout close positions and then immediately leave and try to scout another position. What Rocker did there, he scouted close positions and then looked in this area for that scouting overlord, because what Zerg players love to do is send their first overlord close by air. So Rocker was looking for that overlord to make absolute sure his opponent was where he thought it was, and that is cross position. So really cool play from Rocker at this point in the game. It looks like both of these players are getting pretty early expansions out. GareKon getting that early hatchery, and at the other side of the map, Rocker getting that early nexus. Now really intriguing play from both of these players. I want to touch on Rocker's strategy really quick. I mean, he's putting this pylon on the low ground, and this is not MLG Metalopolis, so there is a possibility your opponent would be close position. So it's extremely risky if you're really close position to put these pylon on the low ground, but we're seeing more and more Protoss players doing this. They feel really confident in their ability to gauge what their opponent is doing and be able to tell, be able to defend from any crazy early defense. At the same time, in the north side of the map, Rocker looking a little suspicious, putting down a pylon and some cannons here, so trying to deny this early hatchery from GareKon, but will it actually be effective? I'm not so sure. GareKon pulling lots of drones here, so I'm not too sure if Rocker is really committing to this or he's just trying to distract his opponent. He did lose his initial probe, but is getting lots of drones is getting his opponent to pull lots of drones. And yes, those two cannons are in fact canceled. So Rocker really only invested 100 minerals into this early aggression into that pylon, and of course ended up canceling any cannons he did put down. So it was just trying to get his opponent to pull those drones, and was quite effective at that indeed. And look at this, there's also a lot of Zerglings on the field. There's 8 Zerglings on the field. So Rocker, wow, so he had 2 goals there with that forward pylon. Keep in mind, 1 pylon, 100 minerals. All he was trying to do was get his opponent to pull those drones and make Zerglings to try to overreact to that aggression. And actually, I would have to say it did indeed work. GareKon forced to pull a lot of drones, losing that mining time, and also building those Zerglings, which are Zerglings that could have been larvae. We see 8 Zerglings on the field, could have been 8 drones. And let's look at the income stat really quick. Yes, that is showing itself, 26 to 21, and Rocker getting that natural expansion up nice and safely. So we'll have to see how the blue Zerg player GareKon actually reacts to this fast expansion from Rocker. A lot of players will put guys in gas and get a Roach Warren in the near future. A lot of Zerg players will end up just taking their third. So we'll have to see what GareKon ends up doing. Let's keep an eye on those gases. He does have 2 taken and does have 1 currently being mined, so that makes me think he is going to do some Roach aggression in the near future here. It all depends if he puts some guys on gas here. And yes, a Roach Warren does go down, so GareKon definitely intending to do some Roach aggression in the near future here to try to abuse the fact that Rocker got this expansion out so quickly. And oh my gosh, Rocker getting a really fast third on the other side of the map. So really intriguing play from Rocker. I guess his thought process is, okay, That makes sense. So a lot of Zerg players will see this natural expansion and then just take a really quick third. And since Rocker saw his opponent take that early 15 hatch, he's like, okay, my opponent's a macro player. He wants to get those hatcheries out. He wants to get those drones out. So I bet he's going to put a really fast third. So I'm going to get a really fast third because I don't think he's going to do any aggression towards me in the near future. But unfortunately for Rocker, GareKon is doing exactly the opposite, putting down that roach horn, morphing in 9 roaches as we speak. That's 9 roaches on the production tab. So GareKon definitely wants to do some aggression in the near future here, and the roaches do get out. Rocker, how is he going to prepare for this? The cybernetics core is down. He really needs to get some more cannons down and some sentries, but it all comes down to whether or not he spots this aggression. I'm looking at his vision right now, does not see it just yet, but this zealot will have a surprise in store for him. Gonna greet 3 roaches at the bottom of this gold ramp and is going to be greeted immediately and destroyed. And GareKon is marching forward to Rocker's base. Immediately Rocker putting down 2 cannons, really needs to defend against this aggression from GareKon, but will that be enough? I'm questioning this cannon positioning. I would expect probably a cannon to go either here or maybe even on the high ground, because these 3 structures are extremely vulnerable here. Maybe even this structure, but Rocker could be in some trouble here. GareKon coming forward with a lot of roaches, targeting down these 2 gateways to begin with. Keep in mind, this forge is researching +1 weapons, and GareKon changing his focus fire to focus about 5 roaches onto that forge could eliminate that before it finishes that researching that upgrade, I should say. Come on, computer, don't lag on me now. And anyway, these roaches are doing so much damage to the natural expansion of Rocker. He's in a lot of trouble here. Keep in mind, he does have this expansion over here, some probes here as well, not really mining. So GareKon taking out 2 gateways and a forge so far. Will he go on any further? I mean, I don't really think he could get any more done. I mean, Rocker has plenty of cannons here to deflect those roaches, and GareKon at the same time knows about this expansion. Yes, he has seen it, so he will flee up, and Rocker is falling behind fast in this game, going to lose this 3rd expansion for free, while at the same time his opponent is taking a free 3rd. So Rocker definitely on his back foot, down 78 to 44 supply. Keep in mind, he also lost that forge and 2 gateways, along with the delay of that +1 weapons research. And as I say that, Rocker immediately starting that back up again. So Rocker definitely on his back foot in this game, down 80 to 46 supply. Probably needs to do something drastic to get back into this game, but definitely does not look good for the time being. Is down 45 to 40 supply, and his Zerg opponent has his 3rd base getting nicely saturated. And GareKon realizes that he does have the lead here. He would not be surprised to see some crazy aggression from Rocker. Gonna throw down those 2 spine crawlers just in case Rocker decides to do that aggression. At the same time, Rocker bringing a zealot to the left side of the map, trying to get some scouting information done, checking on any additional thirds from his opponent. And this remaining pylon and assembler will be taken down by GareKon in the near future. It looks like Rocker actually putting down a Dark Shrine, but this Overseer could actually scout that. Okay, just putting down a Changeling. Will that Changeling get to scout that Dark Templar Shrine in time? It doesn't look like it. The probe takes out the Changeling, but the Overseer is coming forward and does spot the Dark Shrine. So GareKon knows absolutely everything that is going on. He knows that he took down that expansion, that free expansion from Rocker. He knows the tech choice of his opponent. Probably saw that blink being researched on that Twilight Council. So GareKon has the intel battle won at this point in the game and finds himself in a great situation on 3 bases right now, ahead 55 to 46 supply. Already has some spore crawlers in his natural expansion and at his 3rd, also researching some upgrades on those evolution chambers, +1 carapace and +1 missiles. So definitely going to favor that roach play at this point in the game. Looks like he wants to do a push right now as well, coming forward to the natural expansion of Rocker. But keep in mind, Rocker has those Dark Templars, so we'll be able to spawn those in. Also has a War Prison, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. GareKon really needs an Overseer with this army to try to deal with those Dark Templars, but it doesn't look like he's bringing an Overseer at all. Just going to charge into the natural 3rd of Rocker, trying to delay that as long as possible. These pylons will be canceled from Rocker, and GareKon may in fact just back away. A little bit of indecision going back and forth, just going to leave a Zergling there burrowed. A great decision from GareKon. Zerg players at home, please do this. Actually, if you play me, don't do it, but burrowing a Zergling at your opponent's 3rd can do so much delay. I mean, it looks like he's going to put it at the 4th and the 5th as well. Of course, the Protoss player is forced to bring detection over here to deal with that, or build a pylon and a forge, which will delay those expansions, which is always a good idea. In the meantime, GareKon coming forward with a War Prism has 4 Dark Templars inside. Will GareKon spot this War Prism? It doesn't look like it. GareKon immediately unloading 4 Dark Templars here, but keep in mind, GareKon does have Spore Crawlers at each and every one of these bases and quite a few Spine Crawlers as well, so I'm not sure how effective this aggression will be. GareKon morphing in more and more Dark Templars, has 7 there, and also warped in 2 Zealots, going to lift 2 Dark Templars and 2 Zealots into that War Prism, going to try to do some harassment. We'll have to keep an eye on that. In the meantime, GareKon taking down this goal definitely feels good at this point in the game. Is ahead 63 to 47, supply up a base on his opponent, but will this Dark Templar and Zealot harass do any damage to GareKon's economy? Obviously, that's what GareKon wants to do. He wants to equalize his chances in this game. In the meantime, GareKon dropping some changelings, I should say, into the base of GareKon. I want to see what kind of intel he got, but in the meantime, GareKon coming forward with 4 Dark Templars, targeting down that Spine Crawler, going to be targeting down that Spore Crawler as well as the Queen. So 2 Dark Templars taking out that Queen, and 2 Dark Templars sticking into the mineral line, actually fleeing the mineral line. Not sure about that decision. There is no Overseer spawn. They're in the middle of spawning, actually, so could be doing some damage here. In the meantime, in the main of GareKon, there's actually 2 Zealots and 2 Dark Templars going to town on this mineral line, and there's an interesting dynamic here in that actually there's a Spore Crawler here. So the Roaches see absolutely everything that's going on, will eliminate the Zealot and the 2 Dark Templars, but in the 3rd of GareKon, these Dark Templars are doing so much damage to these drones, they will immediately burrow, and there are 4 Overseers here, so GareKon definitely not messing around about spotting those Dark Templars and actually targeting down that hatchery. I'm not sure if that will go down. Probably not. These Roaches are fleeing back to the 3rd expansion of GareKon to try to deal with these Dark Templars and will effectively take those out. But in the meantime, GareKon brings some more Dark Templars into the natural expansion of GareKon, focusing down a Queen and gonna start working on those drones, getting so many kills. There's no Overseer over here. Yes, there is an Overseer just now coming along with a Spore Crawler, so GareKon not handling this the best way he could. And in the meantime, GareKon trying to take this expansion but can't, because there's a burrowed Zergling, does have vision with that cannon, so will end up taking down that Zergling with the probe, I should say, maybe with some help from the Stalker, but no, that Stalker looking like it's not going to help at all. It finally comes forward and steals the kill away from that probe. So that probe was trying so hard to get that kill, and ends up the Stalker ends up stealing that kill. So we steal kills in every single game, Halo, Call of Duty, and even in Starcraft 2. And ladies and gentlemen, that looks like a good stopping point. So I'm gonna pause it really quickly because I'm only allowed to make videos that last 15 minutes or less. So this will be split into 2 parts, but be sure to click that link on the bottom and join me in the next game. I'll see you.